When ESPN released their WNBA top 25 players of all time list, the backlash was immediate. Analysts who helped create the list started tearing it apart publicly. LaChina Robinson called one omission extremely disrespectful. Rebecca Lobo defended players whose impact couldn't be measured by statistics alone. Michelle Vopel admitted they knew exactly which names would get rocks thrown at them for leaving off the list. The greatest passer in WNBA history didn't make the cut. A league MVP got forgotten. A dynasty anchor played in the shadows her entire career while winning 4 straight championships. These aren't role players. These are Hall of Famers, champions, Olympians, women who built the foundation of the league before anyone cared about women's basketball. They sacrificed their bodies playing overseas just to survive financially. They carried terrible teams to finals appearances. They chose winning over individual glory, and the league forgot them for it. Ticha Penicheiro is the greatest passer to ever step on a WNBA court, and most fans have never heard her name. LaChina Robinson didn't hold back when ESPN left her off the top 25 list. It is extremely disrespectful that Ticha Penicheiro is not on this list. She is the greatest passer to ever play in the WNBA, in my book. Not just great, the greatest. Penicheiro led the league in assists 7 times. 7. That's more than any player in WNBA history. She finished her career with 2,599 assists, 3rd all-time, and held the record for years before Sue Bird and Courtney Vandersloot surpassed her. She tied the single-game assist record twice with 16 dimes, including once as a rookie. That record stood until Caitlin Clark broke it in 2024. Penicheiro was a 4-time All-Star, 3-time All-WNBA selection, and contributed to Sacramento's 2005 championship run. Her passing wasn't just functional, it was art. Head fakes, no-look passes, misdirection that left defenders frozen. She threw the ball where neither she nor the defense was looking, creating shots out of nothing. But here's the problem. Penicheiro averaged just 6.8 points per game for her career. Defenses knew she was looking to pass, so they played her for it constantly. And she still found ways to deliver dimes night after night. Robinson said it perfectly. People don't know how hard it is to be an exceptional passer when you're not a big-time scorer. Defenses are constantly playing you for the pass, yet Ticha found a way. She suggested taking 2 to 4 points off her teammates' stats every night and adding them to Penicheiro's totals if you want. The Portugal native became the first international player to win the Wade Trophy, college basketball's Player of the Year award. She played 15 WNBA seasons, 12 with Sacramento before the franchise folded. She was inducted into the Women's Basketball Hall of Fame in 2019 and now works as an agent, representing players like Kayla McBride and Courtney Vandersloot. When Caitlin Clark started breaking her assist records in 2024, Penicheiro showed nothing but love on social media, celebrating the next generation. But the fact remains, one of the greatest floor generals in basketball history gets left off all-time list because she chose to make her teammates better instead of chasing points. Yolanda Griffith won the MVP award in 1999, and somehow she's the most forgotten MVP in WNBA history. That season, she pulled off something that wouldn't be matched for nearly a decade. Griffith won the MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, and Newcomer of the Year in the same season. The Trinity. Nobody else accomplished that until 2008. She averaged 18.8 points and 11.3 rebounds as a rookie, leading Sacramento to the playoffs and establishing herself as the most dominant two-way player in the league. Here's the thing that makes her story even more incredible. Griffith entered the WNBA at age 29 after the ABL folded. She played professionally in Germany for years, dominating EuroLeague competition with 24.7 points and 17.1 rebounds per game in 1997. If she'd entered the league younger, her WNBA legacy would be untouchable. Instead, she had to cram greatness into 11 seasons. 7-time All-Star, led the league in rebounds twice, led in steals twice, 2 Olympic gold medals in 2000 and 2004, and then in 2005, she delivered Sacramento's only WNBA championship, earning Finals MVP in the process. She set the single-season offensive rebounding record with 162 boards in 2001, a mark that still stands. But her path to basketball wasn't easy. Her mother died when she was 13. She became pregnant while at Iowa, losing her eligibility and nearly ending her basketball dreams. "I've been through a lot," she told reporters. "That's just the way things worked out. I'm glad it was kind of rough because it made me realize that I have to work hard and not take things for granted." Her career ended in 2009 when she tore her Achilles tendon playing for Indiana. The defunct Sacramento Monarchs retired her number 7 jersey. She's in the Naismith Hall of Fame and the Women's Basketball Hall of Fame. And yet, when people talk about WNBA MVPs, her name rarely comes up. She won the award during an era stacked with multi-time MVP winners, and she got lost in the shuffle. The most forgotten MVP. A champion, a defensive force, a rebounder who couldn't be stopped, and most casual fans have no idea who she is. Tina Thompson was the first pick in WNBA history, and she spent her entire career playing in someone else's shadow. The 1997 inaugural draft made Thompson the league's first ever selection, and she immediately became part of the Houston Comets dynasty. 4 consecutive championships from 1997 to 2000. The big three of Thompson, Cynthia Cooper, and Cheryl Swoops dominated the league's early years, and Thompson was the anchor that made it all work. Cooper and Swoops got the headlines. Thompson got the dirty work done. She was the prototype stretch 4 before that term even existed. A 6'2" forward who could post up, rebound, and drain threes at 37.7% on 4 attempts per game. She cleared the lane for Cooper and Swoops with her face-up game, her ability to put the ball on the floor, and her willingness to do whatever the team needed. Thompson retired in 2013 as the WNBA's all-time leading scorer with 7,488 points. Diana Taurasi passed her in 2017, but for years, Thompson held the record. She's still third all-time, 9-time All-Star, 8-time All-WNBA selection, 2000 All-Star Game MVP. She played 17 seasons and remained an All-Star caliber player into her late 30s. In 2006, she dropped a career-high 37 points in a triple overtime loss to Phoenix. She won 2 Olympic gold medals in 2004 and 2008. She's the only player in WNBA history with 7,000 points and 3,000 rebounds. In 2005, Thompson gave birth to her first child and returned to play 2 months later. She had a down year that season, averaging just 10.1 points per game. But she bounced back in 2006, proving that motherhood wouldn't slow her down. ESPN analyst comments captured what it was like to play against her. "I was never more sore after a game than after I played against Tina. She was so difficult to defend on the perimeter, especially in the pick and pop. She was a bruising, strong force." Thompson was inducted into the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame in 2018. She's now a coach, shaping the next generation. But ask casual fans to name the Houston Comets dynasty, and they'll say Cooper and Swoops. Thompson, the first pick in WNBA history, gets forgotten because she chose winning over the spotlight. Teresa Weatherspoon never made ESPN's top 25 list, and Rebecca Lobo went to bat for her immediately. Her impact is greater than her offensive stats. She was the heartbeat of a very successful New York Liberty team in the early days of the league. Weatherspoon was the best defensive guard in the WNBA during the league's formative years. She drove sellout crowds at Madison Square Garden with pure energy and intensity. She put her team first every single night, and her scoring numbers suffered because of it. Lobo shared a story about calling out Weatherspoon's scoring once, and Spoon fired back. Choosing not to score in order to get others the ball is different from not being able to score. That's the distinction nobody makes when they look at stats. Weatherspoon could score. She chose not to because winning mattered more. Multiple all-defensive selections. A New York Liberty icon, one of the most impactful players in the league's early years. And she didn't make the top 25 because her points per game weren't high enough. Swincash got inducted into the Women's Basketball Hall of Fame before the 2021 ESPN rankings came out, and ESPN still left her off the list. 3-time WNBA champion, multiple All-Star selections, Olympic gold medalist. Known for her versatility and winning mentality, Cash did everything her teams needed. Her stats were comparable to players who made the list, but her team-first approach meant fewer individual accolades. Michelle Vopel admitted the backlash was coming. Ticha Penicheiro and Swin Cash are the two players who will prompt the most rocks thrown at us by fans for leaving them off the list. I totally get that. Penny Taylor and Delisha Milton-Jones both got labeled two of the WNBA's most consistently underrated players by ESPN's own analysts. Both were multi-time champions with career stats matching many ranked players. Taylor was a key piece of Phoenix Mercury championships. Milton-Jones played the third wheel on the early 2000s Sparks dynasty with Lisa Leslie, doing the unglamorous work that made the titles possible. Both had all-star selections. Both got overshadowed by bigger names on their rosters. And both barely get mentioned when people talk about WNBA history. Angel McCoughtry sits at number 20 on ESPN's list, and LaChina Robinson thinks that's an insult. She should be higher. She's in my top 15, and an argument could be made that she deserves to be even higher. She changed the way the game was played the minute she arrived in the WNBA. McCoughtry's acrobatic athleticism and transition attack made her impossible to guard. She led the WNBA in steals twice. She made the all-defensive team 7 times. And here's the most impressive part. She carried the Atlanta Dream to 3 WNBA Finals appearances with rosters that had no business being there. The Dream's starting lineups were way inferior to other championship contenders on paper. McCoughtry dragged them to the finals anyway. She never won a championship, and that's the knock against her. But what she accomplished with less talent around her deserves more recognition than 20th place on an all-time list. The pattern is obvious. Team-first players get forgotten. Defensive specialists and passers get less credit than scorers. Championships matter, but if you played in the shadow of a superstar teammate, your legacy suffers. Many of these legends entered the league late because the ABL folded, cutting years off their WNBA careers. Others sacrificed individual stats for winning, and the league punished them for it. The recent attention around Caitlin Clark breaking records has brought some of these names back into the spotlight. Ticha Penicheiro showed love to Clark on social media as the assist records fell, passing the torch with grace. But here's the truth. These players built the foundation for today's WNBA explosion. They played when nobody cared. They went overseas for months just to make enough money to survive. They chose winning over glory, and the league moved on without honoring them properly. Hall of Fame plaques don't change the fact that casual fans don't know their names. Yolanda Griffith won an MVP and got forgotten. Tina Thompson was the first pick in WNBA history and played in the shadows. Ticha Penicheiro is the greatest passer ever and didn't make a top 25 list. These aren't role players. These are legends, and they deserve better than being left off lists, overlooked in debates, and forgotten by a league they helped build.